What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Thursday night's late night agenda. As always, pleasure to be here with you. I guess it's my job tonight to try and just calm everybody down a little bit, because I get it. I'm nervous as well. We're all waiting for Martín Zubimendi's confirmation, so we're going to go through it tonight. We're going to try and figure out where we are. Of course, we're going to talk about other deals as well. Joe Gomez has been linked with Aston Villa, Saudi Arabia, and apparently showing interest in Mo this summer. Loads to get through tonight, but as always, we appreciate you being with us. Thank you to JC. I seen he gifted 10 memberships at the start of the stream as well before I got online. Thank you, JC, for that one. So look, ladies and gentlemen, I get it. You're not going to get any kickback from me if you're concerned tonight. Personally, I'm quite calm about the situation, but let's discuss it tonight and see how we're all feeling about it. How does that sound? First super chat of the day. Thank you so much, Anthony. Let me just get that up on screen for you, bro. Said, you're absolutely killing the content, Craig. Just a heads up, I saw Zubimendi getting off a plane in Germany on their story. I wouldn't worry too much about that, mate. Look, they have a friendly there against, in Germany somewhere. And they're making a big play to try and keep him at the club. There's no denying that. But I think that things are looking quite good for Liverpool at this moment in time. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and say it's 100% signed, sealed and delivered, because it isn't. But I certainly feel calm and assured. And I'm going to try tonight to tell you why. FSG, pull your finger out. By the way, some people make me laugh in the comment section. I don't just say that I read the comments. I do read the comments. And I was reading some of them last night, and some people were saying to me, Craig, you've got to shut up about FSG now. You've got to give them the credit. Why? For doing the bare minimum? Come on now. If FSG pull these 3 transfers out of the bag and we get the contract renewals done, as I've always said, I am more than happy to give people credit for the good work. But one swallow does not make a summer, and let's be frank, we haven't even seen that swallow yet, so I would be holding off on the Craig FSG and apology stuff just for a little bit longer anyway. So look, let's start off tonight with where we're at and what the situation is. Real Sociedad are putting on a massive charm offensive to try and keep Martín Zubimendi at the club. But ask yourself the most important question of all. Why are they doing this? Because for the first time since Bayern, Arsenal, Manchester United and anybody else has actually made a play for him, he's shown a desire to move away from Sociedad. And that's why they're putting together these little presentations to try and guilt him into staying. Liverpool will trigger the release clause as and when they get the nod from the player that it's all good to go. So don't be concerned that Liverpool won't slump up the money. That won't be an issue here. Whether it's Liverpool just paying it up front themselves, whether they finance the deal and pay it up front, or whether they go and try and figure out a plan with Sociedad to pay it over 3, 4, 5 years. I wouldn't worry about the fee. It's down to the player now and his decision. Asantino, with us for 1 year as a member as well, said, what looks worse, if we bid and he declines, or we waited to hear the hard no and didn't put in the bid? I personally rather we get the yes them did. Look, on that, mate, I understand people are nervous. I'm nervous right now, but I've always said the same thing. I have faith in Edwards, I have faith in Hughes, and I believe that they'll get this right. The relationship between Hughes and the agent of Zubimendi is important here as well. Liverpool don't put on the high pressure tactics. That's not the way that they operate. But you can see the scrambling here from Sociedad. The most important thing I would say to everybody here is, think of this the other way around. Imagine this was Liverpool and we were losing Trent. The club have to show publicly to their fan base and to everybody else that they tried everything they could do to keep the player. That's standard practice. They can't make it look like they just rolled over and allowed Zubimendi to leave, because their fan base will be up in arms. They've also lost Le Normand, and they're going to lose Mikel Merino as well. So they're being pulled apart, and it's going to be very hard to convince a player who wants to come and play Champions League football, who wants to follow in the footsteps of his idol Xabi Alonso, not to take that next step in his career when, quite simply, his hometown club aren't keeping hold of the best players. Now, there is a train of thought that they're trying to say to him, hang on one more year, then maybe Alonso takes over at Real Madrid, and maybe you get a move to Real Madrid and you go play under Alonso. But that's conjecture to say the least, because there's no guarantee Alonso's going to Real Madrid. There's no guarantee Real Madrid will have a spot in their midfield, and there's no guarantee that they're going to come back calling again. He knows right now the club that his idol, Xabi Alonso, went to, that left Sociedad, that came across, is calling for him with Champions League football. The prospect of being a central midfielder with Alexis McAllister, winning stuff and pushing his career on to the next level. That's why I'm relatively calm about it all at the moment, to be honest with you. I think we will get the answer we want. But again, we have to wait and get that confirmation, right? So tonight, let's hear it. How are you guys feeling? Any frustrations, doubts? Don't worry about their side. They have to do what they can to try and keep the player. They have to make it look publicly like they're moving heaven and earth. But there's only so much, a few little reminders about how nice the mountains are and how good the food is. He's aware of all that. But footballers' careers are short. And he has a concrete offer from a top club that want to bring him in. Right, let me read through this super chat from A. Centino. Do you think the political stuff in the UK is affecting decisions players to come to the Premier League? I mean, it wouldn't enter my head. You know, it didn't. Certainly when we were over in Liverpool for our live show with what was kicking off in Liverpool, never entered our head to cancel the show. Because it doesn't represent the greater Liverpool area. And in this case, what I would say is last night the UK stood up. UK came out, counter-protest to show that they're not going to stand for racism. They're not going to stand for these Neanderthals destroying their streets. And the UK showed up last night, and you should be very proud of that. So no, I don't think, mate, that the political situation would have anything to do with it. You know, the world, Europe in general, is in a difficult spot right now on that front. So no, I think this will just come down to a decision on what he wants for his career, in all honesty, mate. Stevie boy, thank you for your super chat, my friend. Let me just get it up on screen for you. I think this deal happens. What's the backup if it doesn't? So what I can say to you, Stevie boy, is the backup is not going to be Adrian Rabiot. I know that there's been reports today that Liverpool are negotiating with Rabiot. Liverpool don't want Rabiot. Don't fret and worry about that. We've heard 19 different Adrian Rabiot stories this summer, from he wants United, he turned down Liverpool, to now he's just trying to find a club that are willing to pay the money that he isn't worth. And I don't think that club is going to be Liverpool. I don't think we're naive enough to do it when we've already turned down the opportunity to sign this guy on multiple occasions. So what is plan B? Well, for me, plan B is make sure that plan A works. That's plan B. And with Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes, I do have that faith in them. Zubimendi is easy to picture in a Liverpool shirt. Also, we haven't signed the player from La Liga in 10 years since we signed Alberto Moreno, said Tobias Bakke, and thank you for your membership, chat, my man. It's great to hear that we are the only club, by the way, that have made him actually consider this. You know, Arsenal tried and failed. United tried and failed. I think Bayern tried and failed. And Liverpool are the ones that seemingly look like they're turning his head. So what we can do as fans is make sure he knows on social media that we're looking forward to bringing him. We're looking forward to welcoming him to Liverpool, and that he will get the love that I'm sure he gets in Sociedad. That'll be equal matched at Liverpool. Jeff, how are we, bro? Let me get your super chat up on screen. Hi Craig and this awesome community. Since Mr. Edwards came back to Liverpool, I've been very relaxed on transfers. Very unusual for me. Love you, Craig. And I'm the same, mate. Look, you know me. I'm a hothead. I'm the one on here shouting, "Where's the money, John?" I'm the one on here moaning about the lack of activity. But this honestly feels like it's desperation stakes for Sociedad. And if I'm him, I'm looking at Lenormand gone. I'm looking at Mikel Merino gone. I'm looking at the fact they're not in the Champions League. There's only so long you're going to stay there. He's 25 now. He's entering into the prime of his career. And he wants to follow his idol. And no better way to do that than tread the same pitch that Xabi Alonso did. Moving from Sociedad to Liverpool. Instantly getting himself a nice little Champions League winners medal as well. And there's every chance that could happen for Martín Zubimendi. So, like Jeff said, I'm quietly confident on it. I'm trusting of Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes. But I also don't feel that Liverpool are naive enough to put ourselves into a situation where we'd be embarrassed like we were last summer. You had the Caicedo situation, which then was only underlined with the Lavia situation, and we really did look like mugs. But that wasn't Edwards and Hughes. So I'm pretty calm about it, in all honesty. Hi King, don't be calling me that, man. Just say hello, Craig. When do you think we'll hear his choice? Soon, very, very soon. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we got something over the next hour or two, but you know, this tends to be the time of day where the stuff starts to come out. I've been doing the rounds today myself, talking to people, asking, and still similar thought processes that this is the first time the kid looked like he's willing to move away from his hometown club. And as I said, if he gets in a room with Edwards and Hughes, I think this deal gets done. 7DVZE said, is Zubimendi supposed to be better than Marino? Different positions. And yes, he is. Well, that's why he has a €60 million release clause in his contract. So, yeah, look, as I said, I don't know why. I can't give you a rational reason why I'm feeling really calm right now, but I am. Luke Crowley, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, my friend. Thank you for your support. Zubimendi or Sander Berg, said Nevelin. Let United have Sander Berg. Please do. Please go and sign him, because we've been linked with that lad for years and none of us ever wanted to sign him because he quite simply isn't good enough. Right, this just coming in from Anfield Talk as well. I think it's crediting an outlet in the Netherlands saying Feyenoord are set to compete for Sepp van den Berg and will try to convince the Liverpool defender to transfer to De Kuip. Feyenoord know that there was a €20 million price tag around the defender's neck, but the club thinks they have a chance. Good. Again, once somebody pays that money, Liverpool will give Sepp van den Berg the go-ahead to go and have conversations with them. It's not just them. There's been multiple clubs that have shown interest. Is it true Hincapié wants to leave Leverkusen? Said Adam Brown. So on Leverkusen centre-backs, mate, the only thing I can say to you for certain is that Jonathan Tah wants to leave. And there is, I think, a deadline of some time today for Bayern Munich and Jonathan Tah to get their act together and cough up what it is that Leverkusen are looking for. It's believed that Jonathan Tah wants to move to Munich, but if they don't pay the money, then I guess he's going to stay at Leverkusen. So I don't know on the situation with Hincapié, though. I don't know, mate. C6 Steve, I love that, instead of C6 Steve. See, I get that reference. Welcome to Anfield Agenda Ultras, bro. Appreciate you. Unbelievable support again tonight, guys. Thank you. Right, here we go. We've got a Norwegian Red in the house. How are we, my friend? Welcome in. So Tom said, as a Norwegian, I find it funny we're fighting for top players while Manchester United are signing Berg. I'm laughing. Gravenberg as a backup 6 for the position. Well, you should be laughing, mate, in a good way, because you're a Liverpool fan, and yeah, the idea of United signing Sander Berg kind of had me chuckling, Tom, a little bit as well. So welcome in, bro. Great to have you with us, and thank you again for your super chat. Gravenberg in the 6, he can play in a double pivot, absolutely. We're okay in that regard, but we do need the specialist. It's clear that Liverpool want that big upgrade, and that midfield of McAllister, I was going to say in Sander Berg there for a second, McAllister and Zubimendi with the options of a Gravenberg and by Cecic coming through as well. It's looking good. Right, another super chat from P76. Let me bring this up on screen for you, my friend. Said, was lucky to see this team play United past week with family. Team looked solid. Fabio, Costas, Kelleher and Elliott were standouts. We don't look like we need much. Hopefully we can get Zubimendi. Love your channel, Craig. Up the Reds. I mean, again, mate, thank you. That's incredibly kind of you to say. Glad you got to see the game. Glad you got to see United get a whooping as well, because that was a delicious little scoreline. Don't put too much stock in pre-season, but I tell you what, like you've said, there were some good performances in there, some good patterns of play as well. So I'm really excited going into this new season, but I'm not going to lie to you. I still want the transfer sorted out. We are 8th of August right now, and still not one signing confirmed and in the door. And with all the goodwill in the world, I can understand why my fellow Liverpool fans, some of them are getting a little bit antsy. It's completely understandable. You know, especially when you're so close. So you've got the idea of Zubimendi now in your mind, and you're starting to think what that midfield looks like. Then you're starting to think about, okay, what if we bring in a centre-back or a forward? And you can see the picture coming together. Right. What's this? I don't even know where to go with that one, mate, but thank you. I'm just going to say thank you because I don't know where to go to read that one. Sorry. Mr. M. or Ragav, thank you, sir. Hey, Craig, saw the Zubimendi comes through. Well, let's say, saw if the Zubimendi deal comes through. Our immediate target is Hincapié. Thoughts if Zubimendi falls through? I saw Varela from Porto. So, look, if Zubimendi falls through, and I think we're not at that point to even consider that yet, you've got Varela as an option. I guess you'd have Ederson as an option. I don't know who the number 2 is on Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes' list. I'd be lying to you if I said I did. Hincapié is someone we've been long linked to. You know, he does tick a lot of the boxes that would work for Liverpool for a centre-back, other than he would want to come in and play right away. And the few briefings that we have seen and had have been that Liverpool are looking for somebody maybe who will eventually establish themselves as a first choice centre-back, but might not have the expectations to come in straight away and command that position. Alistair, Noel McLean, how are you, sir? Said, do you think the lad would settle in Liverpool? He seems like a lad that would end up homesick and want to leave after a year. I mean, I don't know Martín Zubimendi, so I don't really feel qualified to say whether he'll be homesick or not. What I would say is there's a good Latin culture at the club, right? You've got McAllister, you've got Alisson, you've got Darwin, you've got Lucho, you know, plenty of Spanish speakers, plenty of people who can make him feel at home. Now, I've seen that Sociedad are obviously going and putting their play together. All Liverpool need to do is just send him a picture of Pop World and a Nabsi's menu, and it's job done. Because every time I went to Liverpool and I look at the Nabsi's menu, I'm thinking, that's it. Nabsi's have got everything I need. So surely he'll look at it and think the same, right? Pop World, Nabsi's, what more does a man want? Multiple Nando's as well. I mean, do you know what I mean? The city has a lot to offer. Joel, how are you, my friend? Let me just bring your super chat up on screen. And then I'm going to fly through the news really quickly as well. With all their outgoings, we have to pay the release clause or we won't sign them. Money is tight. Love the content, Craig. So, that's the one part of this, Joel, I would say to you, bro, don't be concerned about. I know, coming from me, that's rich, right? Don't be concerned about the money. But trust me, it won't be a problem. Liverpool will obviously have a preference to come to an agreement with Sociedad that means we wouldn't have to pay the whole lump sum up front. You know, that's not unusual whatsoever. But we have the option to. That's not going to be the sticking point here. Liverpool will pay what they need to pay. If it's 60 million euro all in one go up front, well then the club will either do that deal or look to finance that deal externally on terms that are okay for us. And the reason is, we have the money. It's not that Liverpool wouldn't have the money, but we also have other targets we want to do in the window. And a lot of our deals in recent times have been release clause deals. So think back to the likes of Dominic Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister. They were deals that Liverpool paid the release clause of. So cash flow is important in these things, but I really just don't see that being a big problem, mate. You know, again, it feels like I'm kind of defending the owners a bit here, and I certainly have no intention to do that, but I'm being honest on what I know about the situation. It won't be because of the money. Thank you very much for the super sticker, mate, as well. Appreciate that. I didn't... there was no comment in there, so I just brought it up just to say thank you. Mark Fitchin, how are you? Said, Craig, who is Maximilian? I think you meant Bayer. Excuse spelling, new striker. So Maximilian Bayer is a striker that plays for Hoffenheim. Believe he's going to Borussia Dortmund. At least that's what Florian Plettenberg was saying. Liverpool have been loosely linked with Maximilian Bayer for at least 2 seasons that I can remember. I just don't see it being a deal that Liverpool are likely to push for if he's made his mind up to go to Dortmund. Now, while we're talking about strikers for a second, I just want to give you a little update on Jayden Danns. So Jayden Danns probably won't be going out on loan because he's probably got 2 more months out recovering from that back injury that he has. So Liverpool will probably look to obviously keep Jayden Danns at the club at the moment, rehab, and then maybe January or at another period a loan. But for now, Jayden Danns won't be going anywhere because he's out for about 2 more months with that back injury. Canters, thank you, mate, for 21 months with us as a member. 21 months is a really long time, mate. Thank you for your support. Hopefully get Zubimendi in, followed by a defender. And personally, I'd love a striker too. Think we need one. Great channel. Love the content. Again, with regards to the channel, it's your channel. So it's only great because of the community that's in here. So as I always say, I have the easy job. You know, it's down to you guys to make the channel what it is, and you do. Jen, how are you, my friend? Lovely to see you in. Member with us for a very long time as well. Big up, Craig, you legend. Thank you, Jen. 18 months as a member of the channel. Right, look, I'm going to get into the news now because I know people are patiently waiting. So let me fly through where we're at. Let's talk about Joe Gomez for a minute, because Aston Villa have declared an interest in Joe Gomez should they move Diego Carlos on, which they are looking to do in this window. This would be a good move for Gomez if he were to leave Liverpool. Now, we as Liverpool fans, we don't want Joe Gomez to leave, right? We want him to stay. He's very versatile and had a huge part to play last season. Left back, right back, centre back, even played DM at times. But I think the club want to be fair to Joe as well. So if there's a deal that Joe likes the look of, I don't think Liverpool will stand in his way, but this seems to be a little bit contingent on Aston Villa being able to move on Diego Carlos. It's Matt Law of The Telegraph, I believe, who has been credited with that story. We always have United fans in the chat with the United. Welcome in, mate. Honestly, you're all very welcome into the show. But, you know, don't be bragging too much after that 3-0 beating, mate, and some of those signings you've made so far. Lenny Yoro, I think you were just incredibly unlucky on, you know. You've got a good player there. I'm not going to sit here and mock you for that. You know, I think you've given him a lot of money and all, but look, you've been very unfortunate with that metatarsal injury. Why is Zubimendi playing tomorrow? Because he's still a Sociedad player. You know, Sociedad are trying to keep him, so obviously they're doing everything to make sure that it's business as usual for them. But, again, all I can say to you is every indication that I've seen is that this is the first time he's ever really considered leaving, and that Liverpool have put their best foot forward and are moving strongly to get it. So, look, I'm going to take you back to yesterday and some of the stuff from the likes of David Ornstein. So yesterday, this was on the Athletic website, written by David Ornstein and Guillermo Wright, said Real Sociedad expect midfielder Martín Zubimendi to agree a move to Liverpool, according to numerous people familiar with the situation at the Spanish club. So if we can start from there and then work our way forward to now, what you'll see is Sociedad painting a picture to their fan base that they're doing everything they can. They always have the get out of jail clause of the buyout clause, nothing they can do, but they're trying to guilt a player into staying. And it seems as if a lot of stuff coming out of Sociedad is saying that he wants to go. For example, there's another couple of things here coming out of Sociedad. They said part of Zubimendi's closest environment advises him not to let this train pass, but the footballer seemed to be quite clear that he wanted to join Liverpool, and he continues to think about it. Goes on to say, meanwhile in Liverpool they wait nervously and with some tension for Martin not to back down and give the definitive okay for Liverpool and Real Sociedad to start discussions. It's a guilt trip, and that's where it is right now. They're trying to guilt the kid into staying, and I think if he's made his mind up, it's about making sure he leaves in the right way and that people aren't angry at him, because you don't want your hometown club being angry at you, right? So Ben Jacobs has said Liverpool also made an inquiry about Bruno Guimaraes, and those close to the Brazilian are yet to rule out late window drama, even though the Newcastle midfielder has said he is happy at St James's Park. Manchester City are the more likely bidder for Bruno Guimaraes. I would much rather Zubimendi personally over Bruno Guimaraes. Congrats on hitting over 100 million total views across all content on Anfield Agenda, said George. Thank you, George. Appreciate you, mate. Look, our community's flying. We've over 500,000 followers now across social media. Our TikTok's flying, our YouTube's flying. But you guys are the reason for it, not me. So thank you to you. Right, look, I've loads to get through here. I want to go back on Anthony Gordon for 1 second, because where's my notes on Anthony Gordon? Where 1 second. So Eddie Howe has insisted that Anthony Gordon is not distracted by speculation linking him with a move to Liverpool. But here comes the kicker. However, the Newcastle manager has conceded that the Magpies will have to sell players before the transfer window closes on August 30th. I did say this to you guys, that a lot of people were forgetting about that very obvious and clear thing, that they have to move players on. So if they want to start buying, they want to bring in, the likes of Mark Gay or others, they've got to free up cash to do it. And that's where Liverpool are playing the waiting game with Anthony Gordon. Because if, let's say, worst case scenario here, Manchester City came in and paid 100 million for Bruno Guimaraes, then Newcastle probably don't need to sell Gordon, but they still have to convince him to sign a new deal. So there's a lot to go on that one as well, and I wouldn't rule out a little twist in that tale at some point. Another bit of housekeeping for Liverpool is Liverpool defender set to leave. Nothing to be concerned about. It's just Billy Cometio, who is moving to Dundee United, according to reports coming out. So no surprises there. We did know Billy Cometio was about to move on. Now, I want to call Chelsea out here for a minute, because this is disgusting me. The Times have reported that Enzo Fernandez is expected to be appointed one of Chelsea's vice captains, despite having upset some of his teammates by posting a video singing a racist and homophobic song about France footballers. I know I obviously have a dislike to Chelsea, and I'm going to declare that up front. But on what planet is that acceptable? One, that lad isn't at least facing a potential ban from football, because we've seen supporters banned from stadiums and ejected rightly, arrested, brought in front of judges for language and hate language. Why is it okay for a footballer to get away with it? Or why is he being rewarded with a vice captaincy? You know the answer. It's because these people aren't held to the same account that we are, because they make people a lot of money. It's disgusting, and Chelsea should be ashamed of themselves. A little bit on Mohamed Salah. And don't worry, we're going to keep talking about Zubimendi. I just want to get through the rest of the news as well. So, Football Insider are reporting that we could see a move from the Saudi Pro League towards signing Mohamed Salah this summer. Now, how do I say this? I don't think that's going to happen, because I don't think Rami Abbas and Mohamed Salah are going to accept a sale this summer, because that will be screwing themselves out of a good chunk of money. I don't think we'll see a contract extension unless Salah's willing to take less money at Liverpool, but I wouldn't be expecting them to come in with a fresh offer, because Salah and his agent have pretty much made it clear they're not moving anywhere inside the last year of their deal, because there's too much money on the table. Ben Jacobs has just tweeted something else about Martin Zubimendi. Said, Martin Zubimendi has emerged as a top target for Liverpool. The challenge for Liverpool is necessarily not negotiate with the La Liga outfit, but convincing the Spain international to leave. It is understood progress has been made, leading to optimism. So everybody seems to be heading in the perspective, of this having this is a happy ending. Sorry, I couldn't think of a better way to say it. I do love a double meaning as well. Right, super chat in from Mystic Visuals. Thank you, my friend. A great show in Liverpool, mate. Me and the missus, Jodie, came along. We had a 2-hour drive back, so we had to get off and couldn't meet you. Next time, you'll never walk alone. Well, I really, really appreciate you coming out, mate. It was, as I said the other night, it was a great show. And I've made one decision. One decision. If I do ever do a live show again, it's going to be back in Liverpool at the Hot Water because of how at home I felt and they made us feel. So if there's ever a future show, that's where it's going to be. Nowhere else, at the Hot Water, because it was amazing. Liverpool showed up. We had a great time. Right, let's get into another super chat. Spider LFC said, "What's the crack, Craig?" Good, mate, good. Weird how we haven't offered Endo as a make-weight to steady the Sociedad ship losing Marino. Zubimendi and La Normand. I hope you're keeping well, fella. Been a few years since we spoke. Delighted for you. Up Cork from Kev. Thank you, Kev. I mean, we don't know for certain that maybe he hasn't been offered as a make-weight. You're right. It would make some sense. They get to bring in a player who would be a bit of a stopgap for them. Endo's been told clearly that he doesn't really have a future at Liverpool under Arne Slot, or at least that he isn't going to be considered as a regular starter under Arne Slot. It'll be up to Arturo Endo if he wants to stay and fight for his place, or as the end of the window approaches, he moves on. Now, of course, we can't even consider moving him on until we get somebody in. So, you know, we do have to talk about that as well. Manny, again, thank you so much for your super chat. I'm more desperate for a signing than FMG is for a signed pair of Eric Ten Hag's pants. Look, mate, I'm desperate for a signing as well. You know, it's been a good 24 hours and all, but let's not lose the focus here as well. We have to get business done. You know, the league starts in a week and a bit. You know, we've got, what, 12 days till we kick off our league campaign? Again, it's just various versions of Liverpool are waiting for the answer from Zubimendi at this point. Doesn't matter what accounts say what, everybody's going with the everyone's waiting. Now, interestingly, I've not seen much really updates from David Ornstein around this, because just to remind you what I said earlier on, yesterday the line was that Real Sociedad expect Martín Zubimendi to agree a move to Liverpool, according to numerous people familiar with the situation at the Spanish club. So I think David Ornstein's pretty much put his neck on the line there, and I hope for him and for us, of course, that it comes through, because it's a move that most of us will be more than happy with. And it's nervy time for a lot of people. I get it. I'm weirdly calm, and I don't know why. Because if it doesn't come off, it will be a kick in the nuts. There's no denying that. But as of right now, I just have belief in Edwards. I've said this all the way through. My concern would be, was he given the money? You know, was John W. Henry going to actually give him the ability to go out there and bring in who we need to bring in? And it seems like the money's there. So now it's over to Edwards and Hughes to convince the player that Liverpool is the right move for him. And I have no doubt that they have put together a very, very good pitch to Martín Zubimendi. That's all I can say. I'm quietly confident. And I do think and hope we get a happy ending here. And by the way, what are Chelsea at? Have you seen it? They've signed another goalkeeper for 20 odd million. I think Chelsea have over 40 or 40 something first team players at this point. It's absolutely insanity what's going on at Chelsea. I don't understand how they're getting away with it. I don't understand what the hell is going on there, but it's madness. Right, I'm going to get through some more of your comments. Ian said 2 or 3 for every position. We're nearly there. Is Zubimendi better or Ederson? I mean, clearly what I can say, Mohamed, is that Edwards, Hughes, and I'm sure Slot feel that in our system, the way Arne wants to play, Zubimendi's that guy. So look, I'm not going to argue against that. I wanted Ederson, that's very clear, but I'm more than happy with Zubimendi. You know, I just want Liverpool to get their targets. You know, I trust the recruitment team. I truly do trust the recruitment team. They very rarely under Edwards get these decisions wrong with regards to the calibre of player we go after. So, you know, if he decides to come to Liverpool, I think it's going to be a match made in heaven. What's Zubimendi's injury record? He pretty much hasn't got one. You know, I was flicking through it yesterday, and there's a handful of a few days here or there, but it's pretty good. It's bulletproof, I might say. Jimmy said, all I'm going to say is Ederson is not that good, to be honest. I strongly disagree, Jimmy, but look, it is your opinion, my man, and I respect it. I've seen Ederson boss us. I've seen Ederson do really well in the Europa League final, and for me, he's a really, really good player. But the solution for us here seems to be Zubimendi, and I'm sound with that as well. Super chat coming in from Tinsay. 1 second, my man. Let me bring this up. Do you think we have a chance to sign Piero Hincapié? Yes. I think we have a chance. But what I can't say to you is that I know he's the target. Haven't got a clue. Truly, I'm not doing the ITK stuff. I don't know. I'm as in the dark on that as you are. All I can say is that what we've been told, and when we spoke with David Lynch, and you know, when I've messaged with a couple of other journalists, to be fair to them, they've all been fairly consistent in saying that Liverpool want a centre back who doesn't expect to come in. So like Bastoni as an example, you would imagine Bastoni would want to start now, straight away, playing week in, week out. Maybe somebody else will take a little bit of time, build up, and also it may depend on what the vibes are with Virgil as well. So if Liverpool got a vibe from Virgil that there's no agreement going to come on a new deal with him, well, then we have to start thinking about a starter pretty quickly, because Virgil's inside the last year of his contract. So there's lots of head scratching going on right now. It's a ballsy August for Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes, and they've left themselves a lot of work to do. But, you know, this was their plan. They're the ones who concocted the busy August, and Michael Edwards usually gets these things right. Tanya said, let's hope we do have a good August under stress. What I'll say is, if we, for whatever reason, don't get Zubimendi, now, again, I feel we will, but if we don't, it's a really bad look for the club right now. You know, people can say rightly that it was a different regime with regards to transfers last summer when it was Caicedo and Lavia, but it was still Liverpool Football Club that failed to sign both of those dudes. And when we did our poll a couple of weeks back, more than 2/3 of our audience felt like that wasn't even a genuine offer for Caicedo. Now, I disagree. I said it at the time and I say it now. I think it was. I think the money was put there and we would have paid it. But he decided to stick to his word that he gave Chelsea, and I think he's made a horrendous decision. But this time, it's different people involved. You know, it's Edwards and Hughes, and I think we all know how good Michael Edwards is and how shrewd he is in the market. So I've got full faith. Eddie, how are we? Said, how confident are you that we get the signing? Exactly what I said earlier on. I'm 80-20. 80% confident that we get it done, Eddie, and 20%. Well, 20% I feel is rational to have, because, you know, ultimately it's his hometown club. It's never going to be an easy decision for anybody. You know, leaving your hometown club, it wouldn't be easy. You know, we spoke about Trent and Real Madrid over the course of this summer, and you know what it would be like for him. We looked back to the Steven Gerrard situation where Chelsea made a big strong play for him and he almost moved. So sometimes players can't quite cut those. But what I will say is, it's going to be very hard for Sociedad to say to him that they're ambitious, that they want to go and move and build and win things, when Lenormand is gone, Mikel Merino is going to go, and this could be the time for the kid to move. You know, they want him for one more year, but what they're trying to pitch, hypothetically, about Alonso, Madrid, nobody knows that that's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen with regards to Alonso, Madrid's need or desires for midfielders. And I would say, quite frankly, that if Real Madrid really did want Zubimendi, and they knew that Xabi Alonso was coming in, they would have done this deal themselves after Liverpool declared the interest. So there's a lot there that just doesn't stack up for me. from the Sociedad side, and it bangs a desperation to keep him. Jay McBride, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, Jay. My friends, we're only 230 subscribers away from 267,000. So if you haven't, please do hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the stream as well. We didn't fail. It was never an option on Caicedo and Lavia. They were always Chelsea bound. No, we failed. I mean, sorry, mate. I'm not having a go at you, David, but we failed. If you put in a bid for a player and you put in a sealed bid and you win the sealed bid, and the deal doesn't get over the line, and then you absolutely make a show of yourselves by going in and paying money for a player that you had 3 times said he wasn't worth earlier in the summer in Lavia, and then offer over that again and still don't get him? Sorry, mate, I disagree strongly. That is a very, very bad look for the football club, especially on the Lavia one. All summer it was, Liverpool don't think he's worth 50 million. Liverpool don't think he's worth 50 million. Over and over and over. And then they bid over 50 million and still didn't get him. Mate, that's not a good look. Anthony, how are we? Said, I think if we can't get him done, we can get by with McAllister, Endo and Bajcetic until January or the summer and then go for another number 1 target. I get where you're coming from, mate, but let's not start giving them get out of jail free cards here. This is their plan. You or I and the rest of the Liverpool fan base didn't concoct this August plan. It wasn't you or I or the rest of the fan base that said sit back, see how the market unfolds and wait and see what happens. This is their plan, put in place by Edwards, Hughes, Spearman, Fallows, Hunter, the rest of the recruitment team and the owners. So excuses ain't going to cut it in this window. Not for me. It's get these deals done, get the players in, or again, we've been underwhelmed and shafted. That's where I'm at with this. I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt for now. That's why I'm not on here ranting and raving, shouting at John W. Henry or any of that stuff. But make no mistake about it. If they don't get these deals done, it's not good enough. And we ain't winning anything. What do you think is the deadline for the Zubimendi deal? Said Rain Van Wyck. Haven't got a clue, pal. Haven't got a clue. Don't know if the club have said to him, look, we'd need an answer by X or Y. I've not seen it spoken about by a journalist yet. I've not seen any ultimatums handed out. You know, it's nothing to do with the fee. The fee is the fee. It's just it's down to the player now, you know. And as we've seen all day, Sociedad are putting out everything, getting the fans online, getting any friendly media, just getting everybody to try and lay the guilt trip on the kid, which is, let me say this, abso-fucking-lutely at odds with what they were saying 2 days ago, which is if he gives the indication that he wants to leave, they won't stand in his way. If I'm him, I'm not forgetting that either, because now all of a sudden it's a different tune coming out of that tin whistle, rather than if he wants to leave, we won't stand in his way. Now it's put the guilt trip out there. Look at the mountains, they're lovely. Don't you like the food? Do you not like it here in Sociedad? Receding Hairline said, we need to get them done now. Liverpool already admitted we need a 6 with the interest in Zubimendi. Exactly. And like I've said before, this is year number 3. Year number 3 for this search. It's got to get concluded. It's got to end up with a positive outcome. Or we will have wasted more time. Remember now, whatever we think here, we still haven't started talking with Trent yet. That's going to happen next week apparently. Mohamed Salah, I don't even know if there is a negotiation taking place at all around a potential deal there, if everybody's just in agreement that he departs at the end of the season. Virgil, our captain, you know, we haven't heard that on that. So we've not done that on the players who are nearly out of contract. We've not brought in a single player by the 8th of August, 12 days before the Prem kicks off, or 11 days, sorry, before the Prem kicks off for us. We're leaving a lot to do. So, yeah, there's no kicking the can down the road for me this summer. It's get it done or you failed. And I honestly, for the life of me, I would find it very hard to see how, if it didn't work out, and again, I am still optimistic that it will, but if it didn't, I don't know how anybody can give any benefit of the doubts anymore to the owners or anything. Like, it ultimately, the buck stops with the owners. You can say it's down to Edwards and Hughes, and yes, but ultimately the owners own the football club, and the ultimate buck stops with them. So let's hope it gets done. Right, a super chat here from Righteous Gamer said, would you've still wanted Lavia even when he went to Chelsea injured and he's only played 20 minutes of football? Do we know if he'll be fit for this season? So I didn't want Lavia full stop. You know, I had no interest in Lavia. There were way better options in my opinion than Lavia. But what I was saying was, all summer last year, Liverpool said that they weren't going to pay Southampton 50 million quid for somebody that had less football than Stefan Bajcetic. They were very adamant about that and let it be known all summer until Chelsea got Caicedo, and then we offered more money than we were told, said we weren't going to pay, and still didn't get it done. So, you know, for me, that's embarrassing. I didn't agree with the Lavia signing anyway, because I think we could do better. But I just, I felt like that was a very shambolic look to that transfer window. With you can make an argument on the Caicedo thing about the player being greedy or giving his word to Chelsea or whatever you want, but to say someone isn't worth X amount and then offer over that and not get them just does not look good. Would I be happy with the transfer window signing Zubimendi and Gordon? I don't want to say I'd be happy with it, because honestly I feel like the need is greater at centre-back and midfield and attack. I think we're okay in attack for now. I can understand the right opportunistic signing, but you know, I can only say what I've said all summer, which is, for me, I want a centre-back and I want a midfielder. That's where I think our biggest concerns are. You know, we've had no problem scoring goals, but we've conceded too many sloppy goals as well. So yeah, I mean, look, I wouldn't call that a bad window, but it wouldn't be job done for me in the window if we brought in Gordon and Zubimendi, but it would still be a decent window. They know we need him in that position and it's a top priority. They will make it happen, said Mr. Woodhouse. I think it's more family side and housing, etc. Look, it's understandable that it's pulling on his heartstrings. I get it. Like, there's every single one of us in here is a human. You know, we all understand what it feels like to make a decision that would take you away from familiarity, from where you grew up, from what you've known up to this point in your life. But there's another part of this as well, is you don't get to that level without having the quality, the determination, the work ethic, the talent, and the desire to be the very best. And he knows in his heart of hearts he's not going to fulfill all of those ambitions at Real Sociedad. You know, they are a club that can take players to a certain level, but they're never going to win a Champions League. They're not anyway winning La Liga in the next God knows how many years. So it's a case of when will be the right time for Martín Zubimendi to break that link and move away. And right now, based off everything we're seeing, we are by far the closest the lad has come to actually making that move. Other clubs he swatted away and said no to far quicker. But you've got the Alonso factor, the Champions League, our need, and the fact he's going to get lots of game time as well in that position. The exciting style of football, great supporters. There's a lot to be looking forward to as well if you're him. But ultimately, it'll be the player's decision. We know that, and we can't say otherwise. It will come down to what Martin Zubimendi decides he wants to do, and we all hope that he can see the value of coming to Liverpool. Ricky said, do you think the Guimaraes rumour is true? So, I don't think he's worth 100 million quid, but like Anthony Gordon, there is an admiration at Liverpool for Bruno Guimaraes. My big gripe in these situations, Ricky, is always, if there was a fondness for him, why let him go to Newcastle in the first place? We could have had him for 40% probably of what Newcastle are going to end up selling him for, and we chose not to. You know, so I think City will probably end up signing him, because they have that big influx of cash now as well, of course, from the sale of Julian Alvarez. One second, I'm just opening an attachment here now. So, Fabrizio Romano, Martin Zubimendi is really, really tempted to join Liverpool. He believes that Liverpool is really something special. Just let that sit there for a little second. Just have a little sip. Let that sit there. Top Cop said, that means nothing. Well, it's better than hearing that he doesn't fucking want to come, bro, isn't it? So, you know, I'm not here saying it's done. But it's certainly trending in the right direction, my friend. And, you know, I'm far happier reading that than Zubimendi's having second thoughts and might not want to come. Do you know what I mean? So I get where you're coming from. But you got to try and piece all these little things together. So again, for everyone saying it's not on his Twitter, it's quotations from something he's doing that have been quoted by the aggregate accounts at Liverpool. So just search Anfield sector, anything Liverpool, those accounts, and you'll see what I'm talking about. People get way too stressed. It's not on his Twitter. That's because it's a quotation from something he's speaking on that somebody else has just taken from it and attributed to him. So calm down. Relax. Nobody here ever said Fabrizio Romano tweeted anything. All we said is Fabrizio has said this, this, and this. So chill. It's good. Look, it's trending in the right direction. If Romano's saying things like Zubimendi thinks the project at Liverpool is really, really special, you know, that's not a bad thing. Do you really think we need a forward? Said Jay McBride. And thank you, Jay, for your super chat. Not at this exact moment in time, Jay, no. You know, we will when Mohamed Salah moves on, maybe in a year's time. But right now, I think we're pretty okay in all departments there. I would like competition for Mohamed Salah, but it looks like Ben Doak may go out on loan. So I think our need, for me, mate, is at centre-back and central midfield. Forward in a year's time, yeah, we'll need to sort that out. What's this? Real Sociedad are really pushing Zubimendi to stay, so he's in a complicated but beautiful position. Liverpool are still on it, waiting for the final decision. Again, that quote from Fabrizio Romano was, Martin Zubimendi is really, really tempted to join Liverpool. He believes that Liverpool is really something special. Because we are. So he ain't wrong. I'm sure Zubimendi's going to be keeping an eye on socials and all as well, so make sure that we're out there showing what the love is for the player as well. Let it be known we're waiting for him with open arms. So he's on YouTube streaming. apparently. And there are some of the quotes from that stream. Chris Chan said he won't join. Well done, Chris. I mean, you must be a fucking hoot at parties, mate. You don't know, Chris. The same way I don't know that he will. Do you know what I mean? You're just being negative for the sake of being negative. And honestly, I'd hate to be in that mindset. You have no idea, bro. Same as me, whether he does or doesn't sign. So, any definitive statements right now is just absolute horseshit. Pepper said, in late again and just read Zubimendi wants to leave, doesn't want to leave. Well, then you need better fucking sources, mate. You need to start reading better places. Anybody who wants to be negative, just do a Yui and off you pop. Because that ain't what we're about on here. So, you want to be negative, go elsewhere to be negative. You know, we're here to talk about solutions, look forward, not be doom mongers. You know, calm down. He's not coming anymore, Chris said. So, well, that's it, Jamie. Do you know what I mean? I expect to see that going around now on the Liverpool aggregate accounts. Martin Zubimendi's not coming to Liverpool because Chris on Craig's comment said so. Craig, will I create a PowerPoint for Zubimendi? Stephen, put me and Mickey Edwards in a room with Zubimendi and that boy's coming here very quickly. I'll put together a PowerPoint for Zubimendi, no problem. It'll be a tearjerker and he'll be begging to come by the end of it. But yes, PowerPoint presentations we can do, absolutely. Let me just get this super chat up here from Terry Tibbs Talks Footy. Lad, I swear I'm about to 3D me nan through a table. Leave your nan alone. God almighty, mate. And don't be picking on nans. And nans are hard bastards. As we know, my nan would have kicked my arse, mate. So, do you know what I mean? Just, I get it, Terry. I get it, man. You're concerned. But this is the transfer game, isn't it? You know, we're all a bag of nerves right now. I'm just trying to look on the positive side of it. You know, that's the truth. I'm trying to stay positive because we've gotten a lot further along with this kid than anybody else has so far. What sources and other journalists can you trust for your football transfer news? Everybody has their own favourites, you know. No journalist is ever going to be 100% correct because football is a mad world that can move very quickly. Like we seen with the Caicedo saga last summer. So the ones I would always say, and I think most people in the chat would agree on, is David Ornstein, Paul Joyce, Chris Bascom's quite good, you know, Fabrizio Romano, but not really focusing on Liverpool that much on him. You know, we'll all have our own. So ultimately, the best thing to trust is probably a club announcement. What's this? Oh yeah, we've already read that one out. King said Ornstein and Fabrizio are my go-to. See, I try to avoid Romano because, full disclosure, I just don't like him at all. I don't like how... I just don't like him. Let's just leave it at that. Benjamin, let me get your super chat up, mate. Benjamin said, Craig, how accurate is Ben Jacobs? And I'm laughing at Fabrizio copying Ornstein and Joyce. Personally, I would have him nowhere near the top of the credibility list. Personal preference, again, each to their own. I wouldn't be hanging my thoughts on what Ben Jacobs has to say. Look into Ben Jacobs' time at BBC and other stuff previously, and you know, you can find this stuff out for yourselves. I'm not here to denigrate people or piss all over their reputations, but for me, I wouldn't pay too much attention there. Lewis Steele, very good journalist by the way, has done a lot of great reporting on Liverpool over the course of this summer as well. Tanya, thank you for your super chat, Tanya. Do you think there will be news in tomorrow's papers? Well, if there is, I think we hear about it before we hear the newspaper stuff come out, because there were some quick accounts there that seemed to get a nod before the newspaper stuff. So I'm going to stay on till 10:30, 11:15, just to see where we're at, to make sure if there is anything that we're all here together and we get to talk about it quickly. Nerves, me nails are fucking gone. I'm just skin. It's I get it. I have loads of mad, weird little fidgety habits, mate, when I'm nervous. You know, tapping one foot, banging my finger on the table, loads of little things. Look, for 1 second, if I could just draw your attention for 1 sec to the screen, I just want to remind you guys about the Anfield Agenda podcast. You may or may not know that over the last couple of weeks we started to release podcasts. We did 3 yesterday alone, 3 episodes. 1 with myself, just me talking about Zubimendi. 1 with myself and Mr. David Lynch, and 1 with myself and Jack Gill. We're going to be putting out 2 to 3 episodes every single week, and you can find the Anfield Agenda podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, Acast, Apple Podcasts, just search Anfield Agenda and we'll show up there, and it's completely free for you to listen to, of course. Right, what else we got? Love the podcast, said DKH96. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. I love podcasts myself, mate. That's where I started making content. So to go back there and start again. And we're going to have Steve Bland on again for an episode soon as well. A former member of the Anfield Agenda team. We'll probably get Chris Stonage on for a podcast as well. I'm going to be talking with Darren McAnthony later on this month at the start of September, the Peterborough United chairman as well. Benjamin, thank you for your super chat again, Benjamin, who said it's because Ben Jacobs just quoted Zubimendi has made up his mind to join pretty much. I love it that we don't leak stuff. Reminds me of how old he was. In that case, he's the best journalist in the world. If he's saying what we want to hear, instant hero. No, honestly, look, there's been a lot of positivity, right, over the last hour in these little tidbits that we've seen released from journalists. We're all waiting for Joyce and Ornstein right now. We're all sitting there chewing on our nails or having our own little fidgety habits, waiting for those two to give us that happy moment. Or even those 3 words from Romano would do. Craig, can you sing the Zubimendi song? Zubi, 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 Zubi! Oh, what you do it to me? Oh, there you go. Now, somewhere, there's somebody shouting, going, turn that agent off. It's probably me wife. Chris said, Craig, can I have an apology if he doesn't sign? Absolutely. If you repeat the process to me, mate, if he does sign. And again, Chris, I've no problem with you saying he's not going to sign if you have information to back that up, bro. But if you're just feeling negative because it hasn't happened yet, that's a different thing. But if you have information, then let us know about it. And of course, if you're right, I will. I'm never afraid to put my hands up and apologise, mate. I see a lot of this stuff about FSG as well. Oh, Craig, you've got to apologise. Fuck. Never happening. There's no apology coming from me to John W. Henry. I'll acknowledge the fact that he finally found his wallet if we get to 3 players that we were told we were looking for this summer. But 1 signing is not going to have me giving John W. Henry a standing ovation. That's just not going to happen. Any updates on Gordon? Not really. It might be a case of who Newcastle sell. So Eddie Howe again has said that Newcastle will likely have to sell 1 big player. Who that is it Gordon? Is it Isak? Is it Guimaraes? Don't know. But even if it doesn't happen this summer, speaking with David Lynch, and usually myself and David have different trains of thought on things, but I said to him at the live show, at least I think I said it to him at the live show, it might have been on the episode we did yesterday, that I would be amazed if he does sign a Newcastle deal that it doesn't include a bona fide release clause if Liverpool come knocking. Because otherwise, if I was him, there wouldn't be any chance in hell I'd be signing a new deal at Newcastle, knowing that the club I grew up supporting want to sign me. You can just play the waiting game, because we have a year to wiggle, you know. We have Mo for another year. And I know Mo plays on the right before everybody starts going on at me talking about the fact Gordon's on the left. But ultimately, squad space-wise, we have a year that we can wait. And in a year, Anthony Gordon's going to be in the last year of his contract. And then Newcastle are really in a problematic situation. Sean Lester, thank you, Sean, said, love the podcast, legend. Thank you, mate. And I do hope you guys do listen to the podcast if you're out and about as well. As I said, all of our content is free. It's always going to be free. I've promised from day one that we will never put Anfield Agenda stuff behind a paywall, and we won't. So, podcast free, streams are free, and we hope that you guys continue to enjoy them. People seem to forget that Gordon has and does also play on the right. Exactly, Phil. You know? Again, I like to use the example, mate, of Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane signed for Liverpool, he was a right winger. Then Mohamed Salah signed for Liverpool and Sadio Mane shifted to the left side and became a very, very accomplished left winger that put up really good numbers. So, exactly, I agree with you entirely. Luke said, hi Craig. Big fan for a while since the final with big man Divock Origi, but must say I can't wait to start the season and shut up United and the rest of those clowns. I'm on the pool. Love it, Luke, love it. And thank you for watching the channel. Nobody say you're a fan. I say this all the time. I don't have fans, I have friends. I'm a normal dude. No need to be a fan of me. I'm your mate. Just think of it that way. There's nothing special about me, mate, whatsoever. Right, we're on 926 likes, so do get cracking with that like button if you haven't done so, my friends. And also, 197 away from 267,000 subscribers. What do you think of Solanke possibly going to Spurs? I think that means ka-ching for us. If he goes to Spurs, it's believed Liverpool might get about 10 million quid from that because of the sell-on clause that Edwards put into that deal when he joined Bournemouth. It would be a good move for Dominic Solanke. You know, I think Spurs play some good attacking stuff, so he's bound to get a good gluttony of goals there. And it will benefit us financially as well. Do not understand the overhype of Gordon, the lad's garbage. Again, Adrian, I'm not trying to convince you that he's the best player in the world, mate, because I'm not. All I can tell you is that without any hesitation, I know how strong the interest is from both sides. He wouldn't be my first choice. I'm not going to say he would. He wouldn't be. But I can understand it. I've seen a lot of growth in him since he's gone to Newcastle. I think he's become a far better player. I think we lack some real lightning pace that I think Gordon could bring to the team. And as he gets older, I think he's going to obviously become a more well-rounded player. He loves Liverpool Football Club. It's his boyhood club. We released him, I think, age 9 or 11, and he went to Everton's academy. And I think he will run through a brick wall for the manager and for the shirt. And that goes a long way with me as well. But I'm not trying to convince you he's the greatest idea in the world. All I can say to you, my friend, is that I know the interest is real. So 20% of 75 million, that's not correct, mate. The sell-on clause is over and above what Bournemouth paid for him. So knock off whatever it was Bournemouth paid, and then it's above that. You don't. That's not how these clauses work. It's always above and over what the buying club bought the player for. So I can't remember, but let's just say for argument's sake it was 25 million. Then you're talking about 20% of 50 million, which is 10 million quid. Did Fabrizio say something? Yeah. Yes. He did. He said Zubimendi is really, really tempted to join Liverpool. He believes that Liverpool is really something special. On top of that, then we had Sociedad are pushing really hard. It's complicated. Liverpool are waiting on the final decision. And then we had a bit from Ben Jacobs somewhere as well, who said Martín Zubimendi has emerged as a top target. No, we've done that one. Where was the other one? Zubimendi has not yet given the definitive yes to Liverpool, who are waiting for his decision. What centre-back do you want us to sign? Excuse me. Antonio Silva, but I don't see that happening. Hincapié I'd be okay with as well. I never really believed in the Inacio stuff too much because he's used to a back three. But then again, maybe Hincapié is as well. I truly don't know who to expect. I mean, do you remember the youngster that just left Juventus? Was it Dean Hudson or something like that? Somebody like him or Eleni Yoro would have made sense because that's the kind of profile we're looking for. Somebody 18, 19, 20, 21 who will grow into the position over time and establish themselves, but may not have the expectation to come in and play every game right away. So apparently we sold Solanke for about 19 million or so. So that would give us about 11 million, say, on the sell-on, if he went for 75. Adrian Rabiot, if Liverpool... I don't know why anybody believes the Rabiot stuff, but I can tell you it ain't happening. You know, this is the third time I'm aware of that Liverpool have had the chance to sign Rabiot. At least two of them on a free, and have never ever seen value in the deal. It would not be the solution. It just makes no sense. He's older than the profile of player we're looking for. There are still other options in Europe who are better than him. It's just desperation signs from him because nobody seems to want to give the dude the money he's looking for. And as I said, it ain't happening. Whoever's running with this Rabiot shite, it's just that. It's nonsense. Could Chelsea sell Colwill? Now, see, that, Mark, is something I've been asking myself over the last couple of days. That would be ideal for me. If Chelsea were in a position where they had to sell and Colwill was somebody they were willing to cash in on and Liverpool could get to a number, I would take Levi Colwill in a heartbeat at Liverpool. Him, Kwanzaa, Kanade for the future, with Virgil now as well. I'd be all over that. West Ham to hijack Todibo from Juventus. I still don't understand how United weren't allowed to sign him, by the way. That just... And I've no reason to stick up for Manchester United, but if Manchester City are allowed to buy Savinho or whatever that dude is they've just signed from one of their own clubs, why were United not allowed to sign Todibo? It just feels weird, you know? I'm sure there's something I'm missing, but on the outside it just feels weird that they weren't allowed to make that deal. Sean Lester said, under Slot, Zubimendi would be boss. I just keep coming back to this in my head, Sean, and I know I'm not on my own on this, bro. Imagine him and McAllister. Oh. Him, McAllister and Soboslai, or him, McAllister and Elliott, or him, McAllister and Gravenberch, or him, McAllister and Jones, or whatever combination you want. It's phenomenal. Copa America winner, European Championships winner, World Cup winner. Oh my God, it'd be amazing. Whoever it was, Savinho, whoever the hell that lad Manchester City signed, the winger that was on loan at Girona, that was owned by one of their other clubs. I can't remember his name. Seconds. Yeah, cool. Have I seen the Fabrizio news? Oh, Fraser, I surely have, my friend. I surely have. Yeah, look, it's 10 o'clock now. So between now and, I don't know, I guess 10:45 is where you start to see the news for tomorrow come out. So maybe we'll get a nod. Maybe we won't, but we'll be here anyway. Yeah, he was on loan at Girona, Asentino. They didn't own him. He was only on loan at Girona. I actually thought they did own him, but no, that was just a loan. So, yeah, they signed him from a French club, I think, if my memory's right. So, Plettenberg has now said, Liverpool are pushing to sign Zubimendi with talks ongoing. 25-year-old midfielder is keen to join Liverpool with immediate effect. His agent has the best connections to Liverpool, as they're also managing Xabi Alonso. It is unclear whether Liverpool has to pay the €60 million release clause or whether free negotiations are possible. And that coming from Plettenberg and Sky Germany. So we've had Romano, Jacobs, Plettenberg, and a few others now say that the player is minded to come to Liverpool, leaning to come to Liverpool, desires the move to Liverpool. I think we're getting close. And look, some of these journalists I don't really believe a lot of the time. Like, I have big issues with a lot of the stuff Plettenberg has put out over the last year. But all of them together is starting to look like a positive picture. Alex said, Savio was at Troyes, owned by the City Group. He was on loan at Girona, owned by the City Group, has now gone to Man City. See? It's, I might look like a dumb idiot, but a lot of the time I do have a fair idea what I'm talking about. I spend a lot of time researching stuff. Craig, Martin Zubimendi must know this is his one chance to join Liverpool. If he doesn't sign, we'll go elsewhere. I hope so, Chris. Look, we know a couple of things. We know that his idol is Xabi Alonso. And following in the footsteps of his idol, coming to Liverpool Football Club, all that he needs then is to win the Champions League in that first season, and it's sexy times. He knows we're a special club. He knows that midfield, with him in it, alongside McAllister and Gravenberch or Soboslai, whomever you pick yourself. He knows, you know. Sociedad aren't going to be challenging for the major honours. So at some point he's going to have to make that difficult decision to leave his hometown club. And we're trying to make that this summer. Would you take Bastoni Hincapié? I would, of course. But Bastoni just isn't the profile of player that we've been told Liverpool are looking at experience and age-wise. But look, any of those type of centre-backs are good centre-backs. So, you know, Hincapié, him, Antonio Silva, even Inacio you could at least understand. Starting to break that. One sec, White Hammer. I was about to read that out, mate, without getting your comment up on screen. 1 second. So, White Hammer said, starting to break that he wants to join. It certainly feels that way, mate. It does certainly feel that way. That's the way this evening's heading. That he wants to join. So, I'm going to put up a very weird poll. 1 second. 1 second. 1 sec. Right, this is a weird question to put in as a poll, but I'm asking you, do you feel a bit more positive on the deal than earlier? So let me know, just hit yes or no on that poll. I just want to see, because I came into the stream tonight quite calm about the situation, but nervous like everybody else. So I want to see if everybody else maybe over the last hour and a half or so was become a bit more positive, or maybe you're still unsure or negative about it. I don't know. Those telling me about Plettenberg, we read that tweet out already. You're behind us. We've already been there. We've done it. Happy to read it out again, though, for those who may have missed it. FC Liverpool are pushing to sign Martin Zubimendi with ongoing talks. The 25-year-old midfielder is keen to join Liverpool with immediate effect. His agency has the best connections to Liverpool, as they're also managing Xavi Alonso. It's unclear whether Liverpool have to pay the €60 million release clause or whether free negotiations are possible. Sean, I'm loving where your head's at, bro. Let me get this up on screen for you. By the way, can we get a massive W tonight and get up to 267,000 subscribers? 4,100 people in the chat. Please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And let's see if we can get the last 178 subscribers we need. Zubimendi signs, said Sean, we're winning the league. You're not going to get any argument from me. You're not, mate. I'm ready for war this season. Get Zubimendi in, get a centre-back in, and let's lock Cook. And watch us and Arsenal fight it out when Manchester City just fall apart as the season goes on and the charges come time to answer. And yeah, bring it on. Rumour, City trying to buy Zubimendi. Yeah, that's bullshit. Guimaraes, potentially. What's this one? Oh, yeah. So somebody said Pletty fraud, sadly, underneath the comment on Plettenberg. But then Anfield Sector said probably has decent connections to the agency from pestering him about Alonso, which is probably a fair point. Well done, Anfield Sector, on that one. It's probably a fair point. Scott, how are you, mate? I love that this is a thing, by the way, Scott. Scott Engerson said, give us a centre-back too, and it's nipple time. How did my big, fat, ugly man breasts become a thing? Just from one top being whipped up when I was even less chunky than I am now, mate. But look, I tell you what, it's getting to the stage where the nips could be out during the season with this squad that's assembling and the style of football that we're going to see under on the slot. Gary, thank you, mate, for your super chat. Said, I'd love another Dirk Cow at Liverpool. I feckin' love Dirk. I did. I love Dirk Cow. This just would be brilliant. Zubimendi just oozes class. So, let me just take you back to yesterday, actually. What Xavi Alonso had to say about Zubimendi, who coached, of course, at the underage level from Sociedad when he was coming through. So, the comments from Xavi Alonso on him were, Martin's a player all coaches would want. He's generous. He always thinks more about his teammates than himself. He has that ability to generate play, to make those around him better, always offering solutions to improve the move. He understands what the next step is before the ball gets to him. He has that ability to organise the axis. I loved working with him. So now we've got Dave O'Cop coming out with, says, exclusive interview. Mikel Recalde, who covers Sociedad, tells us that he believes Martin Zubimendi will join Liverpool. My opinion is he's going to leave. So, again, it's certainly leaning more tonight towards the positive side of this. There's not much coming out that's saying it isn't going to happen. So, that's making me feel even more excited and at ease now. Let me get this up. DKH96, member with us for 4 months, said, Craig, as a community... Oh, thank you, man. As a community, we're proud of you. Keep it up. Do you know what? So I've often spoken to you, mate, about my dad being my hero. But my dad was a tough man. And he told me he loved me. He told me, he was a great father to me. But I never heard the phrase, I'm proud of you. So to hear that so much over the last few days from, you know, our community. It's really been nice, you know, because you guys are what matter to me in this whole content world, you know. Whatever about getting access to the club or not, I've never really... it's great, but I don't give a shite if we did or didn't. But I care what you think of me, because you're the one that put me in this position. You're the one that's backed Anfield Agenda and this channel. So to hear you guys say you're proud of me, man, that means the world to me. Thank you. Kevla, welcome in to Anfield Agenda FC, brother. Welcome in. Great to have you with us. Chris said you're the best. Thank you, mate. Jacob Borman said, just joined. Any new updates? Yes, a few bits for you, mate. Let me just go back over what has particularly come out over the last hour or so. So we had comments attributed to Fabrizio Romano, who was on a live at the time, saying Zubimendi is really, really tempted to join Liverpool. He believes that Liverpool is really going to be something special. Sociedad are pushing for him to stay, so it's complicated, but Liverpool are still waiting on the final decision. Then we had Florian Plettenberg come out with Liverpool are pushing to sign Zubimendi with ongoing talks. 25-year-old is keen to join Liverpool with immediate effect. His agency has good communications with Liverpool. They're also the agent that manages Xabi Alonso and Iriola, who of course Richard Hughes brought in to Bournemouth as manager. Then on top of that, we had stuff coming from Dave O.C. Kopp, who said, exclusive interview, Mikel Recalde, who covers Real Sociedad, exclusively tells us that he believes Martin Zubimendi will join Liverpool. My opinion is that he is going to leave. So it is definitely looking positive at this moment in time. I'll get to Joe, your super chat in 1 second, mate. Just this coming in from Fabrizio Romano, non-Liverpool related, said exclusive, West Ham director Tim Steiten travels to Nice as West Ham are hijacking, and I love a hijack in a transfer window, Jean-Claire Todibo deal. Juventus in talks for weeks but no green light from Nice. Agreement with West Ham and Nice is now done for €40 million plus a sell-on clause. West Ham are trying to book a medical to take place on Friday, and that would be a good signing for West Ham if they could get Todibo in. Joe, thank you, mate, for your super chat. Said, just finished work, Craig, and of course I've got to come on here straight away. Love the channel. We'll definitely buy a mug when you start selling. I was actually only speaking with Connor about that earlier on. I'm going to order 50 Anfield Agenda mugs, and we're going to sell them for about £12 plus shipping. So I don't know when we're going to figure it all out, but I am going to get 50 in. It'll be a first come first serve job, but yeah, that's the first bit of merch we are going to put out, mate. I don't think we'll ever get to the point where I put out the Adidas stuff, because it's just going to be too expensive to justify selling them. But the mugs, definitely, you know, we can definitely make that happen. I think they're really nice mugs. Let me see, do I still have a picture of them? 1 sec. Not that one. Not that one. No, I don't think I have the mugs, actually. Yeah, I don't think I have a picture of the mugs on me. Need more than 50, Craig. Can we pre-order? I don't know. Look, I hate the idea of selling anything. I don't want to ask anybody for money for anything, because I hate the idea of the hard sell. I love getting people to subscribe, like the stream and all that stuff, but I'm like, I'd love to just give the mugs to people. So, you know, which is what we did in Liverpool, by the way. I brought 20 over to Liverpool and we just gave them all away. But I guess that's not how you run a business, right? And the accountant probably wouldn't be happy with me. Are they large mugs? No, they're just regular size, mate. You know, I wouldn't say that they're particularly big, nor would I say that they're tiny. They're just a regular size mug. I think I have a picture of them somewhere. 1 second. Bear with me 1 sec. I think I've got a picture of them somewhere. Although Connor's sending me something here in the background. 1 second. Nope, that's not a picture of the mug, so hang on. Yeah, there we go. Just drop this in here. 1 second. Sick. Where are you gone? Where have you settled, photo? Come on. Ah, there we go. Okay, hang on, let me see. There we go. So that is the mug there. So that's what it looks like anyway. Kyle, thank you, mate. Said, hi, Craig. Love your stream. Love this community. Thank you, mate. Means a lot. Appreciate you. Really appreciate that, Kyle. Thank you, mate. It's great to have you in with us. For those asking, I don't know. Yeah, we haven't decided on how we're going to sell them, where we're going to sell them, when we're going to sell them. We just thought it'd be a nice way to introduce a little bit of merch. You know, a mug is a fairly straightforward thing to ship as well. Colin, you're getting a sippy cup. Do you know what? I love plastic cups more than anything. I had this red plastic cup that I had for about 15 years. It was chewed to bits and all, but I still loved it. What's this one? 1 second. Connor sent me stuff. What's this? So, again, a comment from the guy that was on Dave O.C. Cop's interview said, I sincerely believe that Liverpool is a very attractive club and one that is very fond of the Basque country. Obviously, Aldo was there as well. Probably because Real played the UEFA Cup tie in the 70s against the Reds, because of John Toshak was his coach at 3 stages. One of the great myths of the club, Xavi Alonso, one of the best youth players in history. I think that's where Aldridge went as well, right? So you've got Toshak there. You've got obviously the path trodden by Xavi Alonso. And then you've got John Aldridge, who I believe, if my memory's correct, played for Sociedad as well. So again, there's a lot of fondness for the Basque country and of course for Liverpool and Sociedad. What if we donate to a local Liverpool charity? I don't understand how that helps us. Like, obviously, if we're buying 50 mugs, mate, we're spending a load of money to buy 50 mugs, so we at least want to recoup the money for the mugs. So maybe we could... No, see, I want to keep the cost down, but I would say, look, we do charity streams and we'll help out charities, of course. I mean, we made a donation yesterday to a hospice here in Dublin, who's one of our community members' parent died recently, and we made a donation on behalf of the community to the hospice as well that gave end of care life to that person's parent. Zubi will probably wear number 14 unless somebody drops the 4 or the 6. Craig, can we get a poll of where the AA fans are based in the world? I don't need a poll. I know the answer. I don't mean that in a rude way, but we get that information from YouTube. So most of our audience is based in the UK. After that, it's Ireland, United States, South Africa, and I think Malaysia or Singapore make up the top 5. Yeah, we get all those information at the back end of YouTube, mate. We get the demographics, the age profiles, male or female, what country you're from. If we get an Ornstein bomb, is it nips worthy? I wouldn't say so. Not just for a signing. What's this one? Also, another quote from that conversation on Dave O.C. Cop's account said, Liverpool have come a long way in these past 2 weeks in conversations with Zubimendi and his people. It's certainly... Let's have a look at the poll we put up anyway, where we asked, do you feel a bit more positive on the deal than earlier? And 74% of you guys said yes. We're going to leave it open because we've nearly had 2,000 votes on it, so we'll leave that up. KMALH said, watching from the United States of America. Richard's in from Sweden. How are you? Tanzania as well with Ramil. I love it. I love that we've got a big worldwide family together here. It's awesome. Thank you for letting me know where you're watching from as well. Cameroon for Ringham. Cape Town for Neil. Dion said, I've been watching since 2021. You've come a long way. Proud of you, bro. Thank you, mate. It's I'll just correct you on one little thing. We've come a long way. All of us together. Because I don't get to do this without your support. So, you know, whenever you give them praise, remember to include yourselves in that praise. India's in the house. Oh, by the way, actually, we're going to make sure that we get LFC fan from Japan on soon. Sai touched base with us with an email there today. Obviously, it's just been a hectic week for us with the shows in the UK, coming back and all the Zubimendi stuff. So we're going to try and get Sai on next week on Anfield Agenda for a video. It was lovely chatting with him on his channel. Please do go check it out. And also, Ben has relaunched Top of the League. Ben's going to be presenting that as well. So make sure, if you haven't, to go over and subscribe to Top of the League as well. Ben's going to be doing his first live stream on Saturday. I think it's 7 o'clock. But he put up a community post there as well. So if you want to go over and show Ben, aka Drawdy, some love, please do. Again, Saturday is when he starts his own hosting duties on his channel, Top of the League. Craig, John Aldridge's last game for Liverpool was on the 12th of September 1989, the night we beat Crystal Palace 9-0 and went top of the league. He then left Sociedad the next day for 1.1 million quid. There you go. So the connection's there. We've had Aldo go over to Sociedad. Obviously, and always spoke in glowing terms, by the way, about his time over in Spain with Sociedad. Then we had Xavi Alonso, of course, come across from Sociedad to Anfield. Won the Champions League there straight away as well. Gio1109, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, my friend. We are only 133 subscribers away from hitting 267,000. So please do keep hitting that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Right, let's get this super chat up here from Colin O'Farrell Nolan. Said, Liverpool to win the league or Ireland to win the World Cup? It's Ireland to win the World Cup, mate. You know, because Liverpool are going to win the league. It's going to happen again at some point. But the idea of my beautiful little country ever winning the World Cup, you know, I would be disowned if I didn't take up that option. So, yeah, I'd have to say Ireland to win the World Cup, mate. I'm old enough to remember Italia 90 and what getting to the World Cup quarter-final did for our country back then, and how crazy it was here during that World Cup. So I can only imagine if Ireland won a World Cup, what it would have been like. What's this? Nepal's in the house as well. Welcome in, my friend. Craig, been busy watching the Olympics. I was watching it today myself. Some pretty good stuff on the track as well. I watched the 400 meter hurdles. I watched the 200 meters. Some of the 3 meter diving as well. So go on, did I miss your super chat? Sean, sorry, 1 second. Let me get that back up for you, mate. I still have it here. Let me get it up on screen for you, bro. Said, Craig, off topic, but will there be any more show/meets in the future? Sadly, I haven't been able to get to any so far. Would love to go. So, I said this earlier on, mate. If we ever do one more live show, it's going to be back in Liverpool, and it's going to be at the Hot Water Comedy Club, because I felt, of all the places I've done shows, Dublin, Belfast, Cardiff, Liverpool, I felt at home. From the second I got to the venue to the second I walked on stage, I had no nerves. And that's not like me. But that's because of how people at the venue, both staff and people who came to the show, made me feel. They made me feel loved, welcome, and it was amazing. So we'll do meetups, probably in all different places, but if there's one more show to be had, it's going to be back in Liverpool, because I felt comfortable there. Yeah, I did. I said to my wife just before I went on stage, we were both backstage listening to Carl finish up his stand-up set, and I turned to her and I said, I don't know why, Sabrina, but I don't feel nervous. I just didn't. I went out there and I just felt like I was at home. Craig, what else have we got? I'm sorry for missing that super chat earlier, my friend. Apologies. Don't ever be shy about pulling me up like that as well if I do miss one, because it's your hard-earned money and I want to make sure it gets read out and seen on screen for you, mate. The King H97 said 3 solid signings and we're challenging on all fronts, I reckon. Well, I'm going to give it until 11:15. So I'm going to give it another 18 minutes to see if we do get anything tomorrow morning's papers. And rest assured, everybody's keeping an eye on it at the back end for us as well. Just joined. What's the latest with Gordon? So let me just read back over, mate, what I had in my notes about Anthony Gordon earlier on. 1 second. Where is it? There we go. So Newcastle, their manager Eddie Howe, has insisted that Anthony Gordon isn't distracted by transfer speculation, but he also admitted that Newcastle may have to sell before the summer window comes to a close. Now, he didn't say they may have to sell Gordon, but you would imagine you're looking at Gordon, Guimaraes or Isak as the one that will generate the most cash for them. They've said themselves previously that it might be a case of 1 step backwards to take 2 steps forward. So, you know, I just can only say that I think this is going to happen at some point. Liverpool and Anthony Gordon. Might not be this summer, but I do think you'll see Anthony Gordon in a Liverpool jersey. What else we got? Oh, 1 second. Another super chat I have to get up on screen. Thank you, Lewis. 1 second, bro. Just bear with me. Lewis Rayworth, thank you, mate, said, Bisek from Inter would be a good centre-back signing. Young, tall, quick, and plenty of potential. I'm going to embarrass myself here, Lewis, and say I don't know anything about that young gentleman, but I will definitely go make it my business to have a little research on him and come back to you tomorrow, because like you've said, everything you've summarised them as is kind of what we're looking for with regards to somebody with aerial ability, somebody with pace for a high line, and somebody in the right age profile as well. Sean, thank you for gifting an Anfield Agenda membership. Sean Madden, thank you, mate, appreciate you. Embrace said, Craig, love the show as always. Thank you. 2 things. We've 126 subscribers to go to get to 267,000. So if you haven't, please do hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to drop a like as well. We're going to hang on until 11:15 just in case we do get any mic drop moments. And Sean, thank you for gifting another membership, mate. Very kind. Dave Connolly, how are you, Dave? Said, reports coming in saying look like things are happening. It's certainly looking positive, mate. Yes, there's been a lot of optimism on the journalist front tonight. So a few little reminders about things we spoke about earlier on as well. Billy Comedio looks like he could be going to Dundee. There's been reports that Saudi are going to come back in with an offer for Mo this summer, which quite frankly I don't believe for various reasons. One being, I know pretty well that Mo and his agent have no intention of being sold during the last year of their contract. Then we've the Joe Gomez situation, which I'm going to move on to in a second. Just want to say thank you to MLQ92 for your super chat, mate. You didn't put a comment in. It is a super sticker, actually. My apologies. Thank you on that one. I think it was your first one as well. So yeah, on Joe Gomez, this broke earlier on from Matt Law of The Telegraph. Said, new, Joe Gomez is an option for Aston Villa if Diego Carlos leaves. And I don't think this is the first time we've seen a link to Joe Gomez and Aston Villa, if my mind isn't playing tricks on me. And like I've said all summer, I don't think the club will stand in Joe's way if he wants to leave, but I certainly don't think we should be looking to kick Joe out the door. You know, his versatility last year was so important to us. So important. Eno, thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Ian Greenstreet. We don't always agree, Ian, but I appreciate you sticking with us, mate. And Your kind words mean a lot. Am I still friendly with Steve Bland? Absolutely. We're messaging an hour before we started the stream. Actually, not even an hour, half an hour before. And Steve's going to come on for a podcast episode soon as well. So absolutely. I tried to stay in good terms with nearly everybody that I've worked with one or two exceptions. But no, Steve's a lovely guy. How sure are you that we signed Zubimendi? I'm going to stick to the 80% that I said earlier on. That's a number I'm fairly happy with. Any news on Darwin, said Nick. Nope. Just that, like you, I agree he's going to score 30 goals this season. I'm with you. So remember, on Sunday, Liverpool have back-to-back friendlies. We're going to play Sevilla at 12:30, and then we play Las Palmas at 5 o'clock. You'll be able to see both of those games on LFC TV and LFC TV Go. And of course, we'll be doing watch-alongs of both of them here on Anfield Agenda. So, jam-packed Sunday. We'll be on from about 12 o'clock until 2:30 for the first one. And then we'll come back on at 4:30 till about 7 o'clock for the second one. So we're going to cover both of those watch-alongs on the channel. Just showing the live stream. What's the recent news on Zubimendi? A mixture of journalists from Florian Plettenberg, Fabrizio Romano, somebody from the Sociedad side, Ben Jacobs, and a few others, all basically saying it's leaning towards a yes. It's looking likely. There are indications that he wants to move. It's all looking positive at this point, but it's not being confirmed, so we've got to make sure that we're honest about that as well. Stephen Rosca said announcing Zubimendi on Sunday would be just perfect, I have to say. It'd be lovely to be able to unveil him before or a half-time in the Sevilla game, something like that. It'd be brilliant. Armagh All-Ireland champs, yes. And on top of that, didn't Armagh have a gold in the pommel horse as well at the Olympics? If I'm not mistaken, I think the young man that won the gold was from Armagh. Craig, if Zubimendi joins Liverpool, could we compete against Real Madrid in a final? Yes, of course. Look, you look at Madrid's squad, and I'm not going to sit here and say it's anything other than damn impressive. But on any day, with the right coaching and everybody pulling in the same direction, football can do some mad stuff. So, do I believe on a one-off occasion we could beat Madrid? Yes, of course I do. It's going to be very difficult, but if you put our best 11 out there on the pitch, with everybody really fighting in the system, working really hard, I think it matches up. It matches up against most teams in the world. So, you know, you got to acknowledge the squad Real Madrid do have, but a good team always beats a good group of individuals, in my opinion, as well. Chelsea have signed another goalkeeper. I know, 20 million as well. It's absolute lunacy what's going on at Chelsea. Absolute lunacy. What centre-back would you like to see at Liverpool? Antonio Silva from Benfica would have always been my number one. I would have liked Mark Gay, to be honest, as well. I do think he's a good defender. But after that, mate, I don't know. It looks like it'll be a younger centre-back anyway. Why are we selling Gomez? I don't understand it. So, there's a kind of long-winded answer to that. We did try to include Gomez in a deal for Gordon. The deal that was apparently on the table was our valuation of Gomez of 45 million plus 30 million quid matching Newcastle's 75 million valuation of Anthony Gordon. On top of that, you've got the fact that Joe Gomez is a homegrown player. Joe Gomez probably doesn't feel like he's getting enough consistent minutes at Liverpool. And from speaking with David Lynch, he said that Liverpool are willing to be flexible because of Joe's great service. So if there's a move that works best for Joe, Liverpool will do everything possible to make it as easy a transition, as easy a move from as we can, even maybe taking a few quid less. So that's where we're at. But like you, I think keeping Joe Gomez around would be nothing but good. Left back, right back, centre back, lots of options, and experience as well. $120 subscribers to go, by the way. Just 120 left to go, so keep hitting that subscribe button. We have about 10 minutes left on tonight's stream. We're still waiting for the news to drop to see if anything is coming out in tomorrow's papers or not. Any news on Alisson? Nothing. No, nothing. Other than Liverpool are looking at the Valencia keeper, Mamardashvili, who we would initially look to loan straight out by the looks of it, as to future-proof ourselves against Alisson departure down the line. When bro says don't panic, be prepared to panic. How about bro says fuck off and be prepared to do that? Adios. And bro has a name as well, by the way, mate. Inferno Gaming, thank you, mate, for a really, really kind super chat. Wow, thank you so much. Said, hey Craig, love from Straya. Imagine this as a transfer window. Zubimendi, Nkapie, Bakayoko, Mamardashvili and Gordon will truly feel like a new era. By the way, you're coming to Straya. Are you coming to Straya anytime soon? I've always wanted to go to Australia on a holiday, mate, but you want to go for at least 4 to 6 weeks if you're going over there, you know, to do it properly. So I have this weird dream of going over for my 50th birthday with my wife and spending 6 weeks over there at some point. So hopefully I make that happen. But thank you again for your super chat, and what a window that would be. Yes. Bakayoko I'm not so sure about, but Gordon, Mamardashvili, Nkapie, Zubimendi, I think that would be a transfer window that would have a lot of happy Reds, right? You know, there'd be no complaining from me at that point. Cameron said Doak is so good for his age. I can't believe that Liverpool, according to some reports, were willing to entertain a permanent move away for Doak. That seems insanity to me. By all means, maybe loan the kid out to... Why is that clearing? Huh, that's weird. I can't clear that off the screen. It's frozen. I'm going to have to turn that down. 1 second. That's weird. My back-end system crashed a bit there. It won't let me remove the comment there from the screen. 1 second. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Weird. Don't know what's going on there, yeah. Sorry, won't let me remove that. But we'll leave it up on screen anyway, because it's a lovely one to have up there. So, yeah, if you're sending in any more super chats or anything, I can't put them up on screen. Just saying that there now, because there's a little small problem with our back-end system, so we've got to fix that. Congratulations to Pepe on his retirement, said Mark as well. Yeah, what a career. 41 years of age. And still put in a very good Euros performance as well for Portugal. How long have I got left? 5 minutes, mate. 5 minutes before I head off. And don't forget as well, do please check out the Anfield Agenda podcast on whatever your favourite podcast platform is. Just search Anfield Agenda on there and you will find us. Doak to Leeds on loan would be amazing, said Alex. It looks like Doak to Brentford would be the most likely loan that I've seen. Which again I think would make a lot of sense, and getting the kid Premier League football would be brilliant for a season, seeing what he can do. Remember, I can't bring the super chat up on screen, Harry, but Harry said, I'm nervous, are FSG just making hype? No, they aren't. Truly, mate, they aren't. They're trying and look like they will get this deal done. Honestly, you know me, if there's a way and a reason to moan about the owners, I'll do it. But no, truly, this is a deal that we want and are trying and hope to get done soon. Would I take Solanke back? No, I think look to the future with Jayden Danns, Jim. I wouldn't say no to the few bob if he goes to Spurs, you know. It'd be, 10 or 11 million quid for Liverpool at that point. And I think it would be a good move for Dominic Solanke as well. Obviously, Spurs have a Harry Kane-shaped hole in their squad. And that step up for him feels like it could be a good one. Obviously, remember, he was at Chelsea as well, so back there to London. Yeah, I think it would be a good move all around. Jayden Danns, by the way, out for a couple of months with that back injury, so it doesn't look like he's going to be going on loan either. What about Leroy Sané links? Complete, absolute horse poo-poo of the highest order. Yeah, nothing to that. Alan said, it says you've slow-moed on. No, mate. We built our own back-end system that we got developers to build for us, which allows me to bring up the super chats and allows all the stuff on match days for watch-alongs and stuff. And it's that system that's frozen, so that's why I can't remove that super chat off the screen. Right, we've got 110 to go. You're absolutely amazing, by the way. Sané links on that little island, I say. Yes, look, somebody asked me, can we make a bullshitometer? And I'd love to do it. So I think we're going to try and figure out a way to implement said meter on the screen. 2 hour stream, love the dedication. Honestly, it flies by. 2 hours feels like 20 minutes when we're on here chatting. Honestly, it absolutely flies by. Can I have a summary of today's news? Yes, no problem, mate. Let me just really quickly fly through it all for you. More than happy to do that. 1 second, bro. Let me just scroll back up. So, firstly, we had Liverpool are reportedly bracing themselves for a fresh bid from Saudi Pro League to sign Mohamed Salah. Football Insider reports that a move remains possible as expectation of a flurry of business before the window closes. The Reds would struggle to turn down 100 million if offered. Yes, of course we would. We'd snap it in a heartbeat. Why wouldn't you, for a man with 11 months left on his deal? Then there was lots of talk about Zubimendi. It became very vague as the evening went on. It was a lot more positive stuff on Zubimendi. You had Fabrizio. I'll move on to that in a minute. Jayden Danns is expected to be sidelined for about 2 months with a back injury, scuppering Liverpool's chances of loaning out the forward, according to David Lynch. Liverpool have agreed a deal with Lucasade, by the way. Liverpool have continued their commercial growth, said the Echo, with the addition of another major brand. It's a deal that takes the number of commercial partners to 7 new ones over the last 12 months. The Reds have inked a multi-year deal with global energy drink brand Lucasade, and the company are coming back on board as an official club partner of Liverpool, having initially signed up back in 2010. So Lucasade coming on board as well. Craig, please can I snog you on the cheek? Absolutely. People came up to me at the live show and kissed my head. So no problem. Kiss me on the cheek if ever you see me. No problem. Male or female. All good. Affection always welcome. Then we got into the exciting stuff as the day went on, which was the news that came out from the likes of Fabrizio that said Zubimendi is really, really tempted to join Liverpool. He believes that Liverpool is really something special. We had news to come in then to say Dave O.C. Kopp, who had somebody on from the Sociedad side, was saying that, actually, do you know what? I can give you the full thing. He said, Mikel Recalde, who covers Sociedad, tells us, as in Dave O.C. Kopp, that he believes Martín Zubimendi will join Liverpool. My opinion is yes, he's going to leave. Then we had West Ham hijacking the deal for Todibo. It looks like he could be going to West Ham now instead of Juventus. Then we heard Liverpool have come a long way during these 2 weeks with conversations with Martín Zubimendi and his people. And then lastly, the same person on Dave O.C. Kopp said, I sincerely believe that Liverpool is a very attractive club, one that is very fond of the Basque Country, probably because Real played the UEFA Cup tie in the 70s against the Reds. because John Toshak was his coach in 3 stages and became one of the great myths of the club, and because Xabi Alonso, one of the best youth players in its history, triumphed in a Liverpool shirt. So again, all signs are pointing to, yes, very likely that we're going to get this deal wrapped up. But there is nothing as of sitting here right now to say it is confirmed. So with that, my friends, I'm going to bid you all good night. We will have a news video coming out in the morning as well, or if anything breaks over the next hour, I'll record a video as well and jump back on, so don't worry about that. Tomorrow, live again, 8:45. Hope to see you, and don't forget to check out the Anfield Agenda podcast on whatever your podcast platform of choice is. Thank you for everything. Do hit the like button before you head off. Hit that subscribe button as well. And yeah, tomorrow could be a fun day, so make sure you keep your eye peeled. If you hear it before me, let us know. Talk to you soon.